So Stoke had mentioned that Alaska might not be uh, the elite bastion of freedom that they say it is. One example was whole milk. Of course, there's not an ass ton of cows in Alaska. Maybe there's reasons behind that, and people are smuggling whole milk, and there was a big whole milk problem. I'm not sure. Anywhere we go that has that pure freedom, or whether it be outside of the country or these little pockets of freedom in states around the U.S., there are certain areas where that is very true, and certain areas where it doesn't seem as true. I think where where Stoke was doesn't offer the most freedom and is a connection of small towns on a peninsula. I used to own land there. I was there recently, and I know it somewhat well. There, aside from that, there is an Alaskan elitism, and people from California, almost most of all, sometimes are not that they're not as welcome. It's just it seems that some Californians had built a bad name, and these people in Alaska have their own attitude sometimes about people from California. Stoke, uh, maybe coming up there with his wife and his kids, maybe appeared a certain way or talked a certain way, or something led these dipsticks to treat him in a way that he didn't feel valued, uh, or if that was the case. Uh, Hawaii has it too, this elitism. Some of it is not deserved, but not really poor intentions. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Alaska, while not a island in itself collectively, is basically on an island for all practical senses because uh, you got to get around the ocean or Canada. Some of the elitism is pathetic. It causes undue strife for newcomers. It seems that you would be more welcome as a newcomer from Rwanda or California in New York City than you would be in small town Alaska. Small town being relative. Now, where you were is different from where I typically am. And the nature of the world is there's a lot of really good people. There's a lot of really helpful people. Some of the grumpy, grumbly, spiteful pieces of shit are actually really good people uh, to the people in their circle. Now, some of these old fuckers that maybe gave you a problem, or maybe some of the young misunderstood people that gave you any gruff for being from California or any certain type of way, are a reflection of the general population up here, but are not a reflection of how you're going to be treated in the long run. It's about who you are. Initially, that shit can be bad, and it's certainly there, whether it be just from the random Alaskans, and it seems like it's more from the gringo side than the native side. The native relationship here for Alaskan natives uh, between random Americans and these natives is completely different from what we see down south. And it's more symbiotic and beautiful than we often see in the Native American down south versus the random gringos and rest of America. Uh, what do you think are some other examples where Alaska is not really the bastion of freedom? I would like to know that. Uh, for me, I don't even want to describe some of the ways where I enjoy some of the freedoms here. Uh, but in a place this big with this few people, no police department, you certainly do enjoy another level of freedom. I remember, I'm gonna avoid that story, but just quickly stated to my friend when I'd come up here, I go, well, it's so small up there. If you have a problem with the government, you just become the government. And then I ended up doing that. It's different here than most of the other places where I've also experienced great freedom. So there are levels to it. We're going to be shortchanged no matter where we go if we're seeking that pure divine freedom. There is beautiful hardship up here in the way Mother Nature treats you, even in Southeast. So I apologize from someone who's been up here and been a long time resident of the last frontier that you were treated in any sort of way that shortchanged you because you were Californian or for any other reason. It's just the way it is here. And not that it's wrong or right. Also, you made a point in a video, people intending to win an argument just by calling you bad names, was people without kids teaching. And some people don't know that I got bored here, among other things. And in between commercial fishing seasons, I taught school. So I was a substitute. Do not let anybody ever tell you they were a teacher without the qualifier that they were a substitute teacher, because it's a great difference. One of my friends, math teacher there, I talked to her a couple years later, like, hey, Kaylee, I miss you, miss the kids, whatever, miss the staff. And she said something. I was like, yeah, it's like training puppies, and then you just drop them off and have no responsibility. You can do this like scientific training with these little pure souls, and then just unleash them, and you don't have to deal with all the bullshit. It's a pretty easy job if you're good at it. So let me grab. I was going through my my files here, separating between financial, medical, and sentimental, and I'd like to show you some. So in general, I understand the sentiment of people without kids, teaching kids. I actually did a tremendous job. And I don't know, in general, I think, well, the point resonates as valid. Here's KJ in native arts class. Native arts teacher was amazing too. Big old native former Marine. Love that dude. What's up, John? Dylan did this for me. Dylan and his brother, I don't know, there's no karate classes on the island. They're constantly trying to do karate on each other. They love karate. His nose is running constantly. I got a lot of the special needs kids or difficult kids, whether they're high school down to second grade. It's one of Peter's things. Peter was dark, my G, but he was very good at art. Here's Ian, who would trace things until he learned how to draw them. This is an extremely dark-skinned Michael Jackson. Extremely dark skin. And these are just some of the things. I've got another folder. Here's my I taught at a native school. So here's my thanks for coming, thanks for being so good from the principal. It was odd. They needed substitute teachers, and somebody asked me, like, hey, you should be a sub since you're not fishing right now. And I was like, a sub? Like, what do you mean? And it seemed like such a preposterous idea. But I did it, went and talked to the principal and the superintendent and stuff, and yeah, they needed good people. Walked around, this is rural Alaska, so typically people aren't in a button-down shirt with a leather portfolio walking around looking all serious. Most of the teachers thought I was some like undercover school psychologist there to evaluate them for the first couple weeks, and they didn't like me, and then they just found out I was a sub and everything was great, except for the one teacher who I thought sucked. I didn't like her at all. I'm in my 4th, 5th grade class, and there's a bunch of kids in there who are awesome. So I have Anna, who's God, she looks a foot tall, but she's 3.5, 4 feet tall. She's freaking tiny. She's got these little glasses. She looks hilarious. She's a little fire engine. And in this side of the native culture, actually, both native tribes on the island, you're either an eagle or a raven in your family. One kid could vary from the next. Anna comes up to me and asks, "Mr. Eric, are you an eagle or a raven?" I said, "Anna, I'm your teacher. Go sit down." And she, smiles, and people start laughing. She goes, sits down, and then she was close to Christmas time, so she made me a Christmas tree. Actually, had that on the wall for a long time. That wasn't in the files. I just took that down. It was a really cool experience. I did 2 school years because in newly elected official training for the state, that vocation building, I'm driving around one night as we're going to training in the off season, and the middle school kids were in there doing something I didn't know. So as I'm driving around, I didn't expect any kids to be in the building at like 7:30 when we're getting out. And this kid Eli comes out, and he goes, "Mr. Eric," he goes, "what are you doing?" And all these kids, like another kid, Julian, comes filing out, and all the middle school boys like roll out. I guess they were in shop class, and come up to the truck, and I'm sitting there like vaping or whatever, and they were like, "What are you doing? Are you coming back?" I had no intention of coming back at all. It doesn't